The whole point of this segment is just to give young filmmakers that inspiration to go out and film. I mean, what advice would you give to new filmmakers, maybe first-time filmmakers, on making their first film?
Well, I mean, all I can say really is that nobody invites you to make your first film, or if they do, that's amazing. You know, nobody asks you to do anything really. You have to just decide to do it. And the best experience is to do something yourself, even if it's with your little movie camera and your family. You know, better to make a good Christmas video or a good, you know, what we did on our holidays video and cut it together and try and make something out of that than sit and wait for funding from Screen West Midlands or whoever to let you do your big short. I think just make anything and keep on making it until it gets better for you, to your eye. And when you think you've got something worth showing, that will open more doors for you. That piece of work, if it's a 2-minute thing, a 5-minute thing, if it's on your own little video, if it's a YouTube upload, you'll get more out of that than if you just keep applying on paper for funding. I would say, I know it's tough, but until you've got something, forget all of that bureaucracy and break through it and do your own thing with people that you know and trust and like working with and enjoy working with. You know, make a film about your dog. If your dog's cute and funny, you could probably make something great out of that. Upload it to YouTube, you know, get 2,000 hits if you can, take that somewhere and that will open a door. You know, you've just got to find alternative ways of making your work and keep honing it until you think it's really good. So
literally sticking to your own vision and not really...
That's what I did and that's all I know. And I would advocate it for anyone that wants to do it. Stick to your own vision, don't wait to be invited, don't believe anything anybody else tells you, get on and make your work and keep doing it until you think, do you know what, I really think now I'm onto something.
Okay, now I mean, what about the directors who think that's a really good idea to do, but then casting, obviously, it's a big part. I mean, obviously, you have to have actors and stuff like that. I mean, what if a person or filmmaker decides to cast his friends in a film? How do you get that professional performance from non-professionals?
I think it can be really difficult to get a professional performance from non-professionals, and that's why something like a documentary technique can work, because you're not asking, you know, if you ask your friends and whatever to play themselves more, and you cast them because you know what they're like and you like what they're like. So say you've got a mate who's an arrogant idiot and you know he won't be able to resist being that, and you write a character around him.
Based around that. You've
got it, you know. But if you're asking people to act, you know, innocent and shy and they're not able to do that, forget it, you know. So, I mean, writing for people is a really good idea, actually. I mean, it's certainly something I did when I was at college. I used to write around my fellow students, and that's how I started playwriting, because I knew then I had ready-made casts that could do it, and so it made a big difference. I mean, non-actors trying to act doesn't really work, you know. I mean, getting good actors, though, I mean, I think you'd be surprised if writing is your thing, writing and directing is your thing. You know, you'd be surprised how many, because we know how many good actors are out of work, will come and workshop something with you. If you've got a new play or an idea for a film, particularly for a film, I think, if you say, I'm a new filmmaker and I just want to try out some ideas, and you write to any kind of I don't know, drama school, say, for the graduating students, or, you know, people that are in their training maybe.
In that field as well,
And they'll come and work with you, and you can get, you know, a better level of performance there. Otherwise, you know, if you've got a script or you've got a little film that you're really proud of, there is absolutely no harm in trying to send it out there and ask somebody, you know, relatively famous to see if they'll come and do it, because you'd be surprised at how many say yes.
Is that a point where you literally just contact the agency, or...?
I think if it's the only way, then you have to contact the agency. If there's any other way of finding out, it's always better, because the agents tend to be, you know, a bit picky about what they show their clients. But sometimes that's the only way. And if the thing is good enough, you know, they'll pass it on, and there's every chance they'll do it.
No, definitely. I mean, in terms of people who haven't got maybe a script or an idea ready yet for filmmakers, I mean, where do you get your inspirations from as a writer to generate them ideas? Is it anywhere, or?
I don't know. I mean, I think originally you know, when I was working in the theatre and making plays, it was very much for my family. And I think there's an old adage which is, you know, write what you know. And I think that's probably true. You know, that certainly at first as a new writer, if you write about the things you know, then you're an authority on it, particularly if it's your family. And some of the great films that have come out have been, you know, inspired or based on people's personal experiences. It doesn't have to be your family, it could be your work, your relationship, whatever it is, but use your own experience to generate something and turn that into something else, for sure. But make sure you've got a route that you really, really are an authority on. Otherwise you're sort of stumbling around in the dark a bit, potentially, you know. Or the other way of going is to research something. So if you're interested in a particular subject, research it until you are an authority on it. But don't write anything until you're an authority on it.
Until you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's no point. And you don't have to know exactly what you want to say when you start writing, because sometimes you can discover that when you're writing. But you have to know what it is you're writing about. You have to. You can't just, you know, and don't be too vague. You know, oh, I'm going to write something kind of set in a bar about, I don't know what it is. It's about a group of lads, but I don't know what else it is. Just don't bother, you know, wait until you've got a much clearer idea about what's going to happen.
Sure.
If you know what's going to happen, the first 2, 3, you don't have to know the ending, but if you have a sense of what might happen in it, then you've got these building blocks to work towards, and you can get somewhere, you know.
Well, Debbie, that's it, I think. Thank you very much for coming down and giving inspiration. I hope you gave inspiration to the filmmakers.
Me too.
Thanks again.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's it for now, but make sure you tune in next time, because we're going to have an exclusive interview with Steven Spielberg. We're also going to have George Clooney on the show.
No, cut.
We're going to have Tom Cruise and Leonardo DiCaprio as well.
That's not happening anymore.
What
Dave,
do you mean?
have you cut?
What do you mean that's not happening anymore? You said we're going to get some big names on the show.
Yeah,
that's
Dave.
why I came on board.
No, of course you came. No, we'll get them.
So
Dave,
hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Steve, I'm talking to you. Listen, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Yeah? So what do you mean? Are you telling me that there's no Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, we're going to get DiCaprio.
What about and Tom Cruise?
Clive Owen. Dave, have you cut?
Steve, did you lie to me?
Dave, I mean,
this
that's
is all to get me on board. Honestly, like, I can't work with unprofessional people like this. What are you doing?
No, we're going to get them. We're going to get this fine.
You know what? Just forget it.
Dave,
forget
have you
it.
cut? I've asked you like 50 times. And she's walked. Have you cut now?